Hello and welcome to the Hold My Beard Marketing Podcast. I'm, of course, Jake the Wizard, and we have a special guest this week, Matt Diamante from Hey Tony. What's up, Matt?
What up?
How's it going?
It's going good. I just saw you. It was Sunday. I just saw you in LA.
Yeah, absolutely. We're at VCon.
Yeah, it was a good time. It was really hot. A lot of outside sunshine time in the middle of
Yeah,
summer in LA. So,
yeah, you're
uh,
looking really healthy, man.
yeah, I
Nice
mean,
glow to you.
it's a little bit of a tan going on. Yeah, I like it.
Well, Mitch is off this week. He is taking a well-earned vacation. So we're going to have an Oops All SEO episode of Hold My Beard. And if you've never been here before, welcome. We're going to cover some of the latest and greatest news in SEO, talk about what's going on in the world. And then at the very end, we're going to do everyone's favorite segment, 7 Minutes in Heaven, where we lovingly roast a website only for your best interest in mine, of course. But let's dive into the news of the week here. HubSpot's SVP of marketing wrote an article about how AI is revolutionizing SEO. So I thought we'd just go through his points and see what we think about it. All right.
Let's do it.
So his first point is AI powered search will decrease click-through rates on search engines. So you need to optimize for large language models, which is ChatGPT, Claude, all those things. What do you think?
I definitely think that's going to have some kind of impact, but as to what those large language models will actually grab from websites, we don't know yet.
Yeah, absolutely. We covered this a few weeks ago, how ChatGPT is coming out with Search GPT.
Do you have access to that yet, by the way?
I do not. I
I
have
do not
requested
either.
it, and they have not sent it over yet. But we definitely know a couple things about how that optimization is working. It's coming a lot through schema and technical markup. So that's why we are leaning so heavily into that as an agency, because we want to future proof our clients for search. But yeah, absolutely. People are using LLMs a lot more for search. Of course, he's going to say all kind of the basic answers here of how to optimize between high quality content, optimize for snippets, focus on user intent, and build authority. That sounds like a basic SEO plan to me.
Yep. Stuff we've been doing for years, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. Nothing new on the SEO front,
Yeah.
really.
Pretty much just keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, exactly. SEOs must become more holistic digital marketers. And the comment here is that evolved SEOs might involve driving discussions around their products, ensuring that their websites appear on review sites, and generating quality backlinks to establish that brand authority. Obviously, giving more signals to the LLM that were more important.
So, are you thinking that comments are going to come back on blogs? Because I disable comments on every single blog I have because all it is absolute trash. It's spam.
I don't know. My hope is no. My hope is no. Comments on blogs is one of the most time consuming for least value possible.
Yeah. It's absolutely crazy. But that like kind of goes back to, the social conversations that are happening on TikTok and Instagram and, other social platforms where comments are a big thing. They're really pushing comments. So I'm really interested to see if that makes a comeback with SEO here.
Yeah, absolutely. Third point, customer-centric strategies matter more than keyword clusters. Now, this is a little outside what we focus on at our agency. We're big on keyword or topic clustering. What do you think of that?
I think that websites that, focus on one major topic, whether it's HVAC or plumbing or a dentist, all the content on the site is going to be about those topics. I don't know if ChatGPT and these other AIs are going to be looking at sites as a whole, or if they're basically just going to be looking at the content on a page. So is it page to page SEO, or is it, site wide SEO that they're going to be looking at? Um, I don't know. I still think topic clusters is the way to go. Cover everything you can about one specific topic and you will rank. Like at least on traditional Google and Bing and all that kind of stuff.
I would have to imagine that the programming of the LLM, the algorithm that's going to control SEO of some kind, is is still going to lean into all the classic concepts that we follow.
Yeah, like there, although AI kind of is reinventing the wheel, how much different can it be with search? You know what I mean? Like, is unless they're grabbing information from multiple sites and multiple sources and putting it all into one output, that makes sense. That makes sense to me to give the user the best answer. Yeah, I'm not quite sure.
Now, the interesting thing to me, and I don't know if it's going to come up in this, and we can maybe talk about this a bit more later, is will LLMs use social media content in search more effectively than existing search engines? Because right now, search engines generally don't rank or show any kind of social content outside of maybe videos in their search results. But with an LLM, we don't really know what it's gonna be grabbing.
Well, when you look at a search engine like YouTube, because it is, the second biggest search engine in the world, I think still it must be. When you look at that, like they are scraping data from the videos, everything that you're saying, all that kind of stuff. However, they are still a social platform first, although they are a search engine. Um, and they're looking at watch time, they're looking at engagement on those videos as well, not just the topics. Although the topic it might be the best video on that topic. If people aren't staying and watching because you're not engaging, is it necessarily going to be the best topic? And this is something I find that TikTok and Instagram and Facebook struggle with. And I know like they are reading, or they're grabbing all the words that you say, and they're transcribing that, because you can easily add transcriptions to all your videos. So I know they're grabbing that information, but the search results, if TikTok or Instagram comes out with an AI search that is actually good, because I know Meta has one right now and it's like it's so. Um, it would be, I think, huge, because people are posting this content all the time, although it's a little bit more short form than YouTube.
And it's fresh.
Yes.
Whereas a web page you might update, on a good SEO plan, maybe every 6 months. Social content's coming out every single day. I mean, you and I both post every single day on
Yeah.
SEO. So if there's new news to be had, guess where you're gonna get it from? It's gonna come from our channels.
Absolutely. And just a side note, a side question for you, Jake. When you're doing SEO for yourself or any clients, have you ever just updated the date, refreshed the date and not changed anything about the post? And if so, how's that worked out for you?
Typically, when we refresh the date of a post, we also refresh the meta description as well. So I haven't done just post refreshing, but it's something worth trying.
Yeah, we did that for a client who they're pretty big. I would call them a publication. We'll just keep it there. But there was a post that was in the news, and some news had just come out about this person, and we had posted about it. I don't know, like a year ago, and all we did was update the date to today. It's this exact same piece of content, and it hit the Google Discover, whatever the news section, and it absolutely went wild. And all we did was
That's
change the date.
crazy. Yeah, I mean, it could be a whole podcast on its own talking about how Google News, the publication, the news feed, if you're in Search Console, you may see a separation in your results from your performance data and your news feed data.
Yeah.
And they're kind of different because newsfeed is very relevant current stuff, but I have seen and heard a lot of traction happening for content on those.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes it pops off, sometimes it doesn't. But I'm like 99% sure in Canada that, because I'm based in Canada, that our government wanted Google and Facebook and all these news platforms basically to pay the government for the rights to, show news. Because they were showing, publications from wherever. And yeah, now like within Canada, the news section, I don't think it exists, because I haven't seen any traffic really coming from that. It's really wild. Um, yeah, I'll just leave it there.
So that's pretty much what the chief of marketing said over at HubSpot. Agree, disagree, scale 1 to 5.
I'd say like, I don't know, a 3 or a 4 maybe.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of this article feels like same same.
Yeah, and it's all just speculation. Like this doesn't exist yet, so we don't know what it's going to be. It could be something totally different, but we have to adapt to the new platforms that are coming out. And if you don't adapt, you're just going to lose.
Absolutely. So last week we talked about the major breaking case of Google actually losing an anti-monopoly lawsuit. Um and now on the heels of that, and I said now that we've had one big boy lose an antitrust lawsuit, we're going to see more come out, and we already are. Here we go. 1 week later, DOJ is talking about separating Android, Chrome, and maybe even ads away from the core of Google's architecture as separate businesses.
That's wild. So like what's going to happen there? There's just they go on living and Google just owns these properties, or they have to give it up.
Well, they have to be separate companies.
Yeah, but they can still those separate companies could still be owned by Google or Alphabet.
Absolutely, but they'll be regulated to not utilize each other to
Oh,
gain an industry advantage.
right. And also we saw in the latest Google algorithm data leak, whatever you want to call it, that they are in fact using Chrome data. So that could be like a big thing for Google search.
That actually would be a massive thing for Google search because right now, if you don't know, Google is actively using the visitor and user experience data from Chrome and sending that back to the Google search algorithm to make decisions of what to rank for, which is good and bad.
Well, they're able to collect data from websites that aren't using Google Analytics. They don't have any Google tags on them, which I don't know who's doing that these days. You should definitely have Google Analytics on your site, but and they're able to collect data from people who aren't signed in as well, right? So
Mhm.
they're just like this giant data machine with the Chrome browser.
But what that would do is from an SEO perspective, I almost like that because now I can separate myself from the site performance
Yeah,
because I'm sure you have them in your catalog. There are clients that you have that maybe their website isn't the best.
sure. Yeah,
So I don't know. Again, this is all new. It's a new territory now that Google got hit with this. We'll see what happens. Great to have you, Matt. Normally, Mitch and I kind of go off the rails and talk about all kinds of marketing. But since we've got an SEO focused episode here,
yeah.
I just wanted to ask you, get the question all the time. I'm sure you get it too on your channel, but like, what do I actually need to focus on in SEO? Like, and we don't have to necessarily put it in order, but if you could only do three things as a person just getting started in SEO, I haven't done it on my site.
Yeah.
Like what am I even focusing on for that site?
Right. So when we're talking about SEO, search engine optimization, and basically you're asking, what are these optimizations? What do I actually do on my site? And the number one issue that I see over and over and over again, because I audit a lot of websites, we have a lot of clients, all that stuff. People don't use the keyword that they want to rank for on the page enough or at all. People will come to me and say, why aren't I ranking for blank keyword? And I say, well, you haven't even used blank keyword on that page. Why do you think you should rank for it? Right. So they're not using the keyword at all on the page. And they're certainly not using it in the places that matter, like the title tag, the meta description, which I know, Google has said they don't look at the meta description as a ranking factor, but it should be an indication of what is on that page. So why wouldn't you include that keyword if that's what the page is about? So title tag, meta description, include it in your heading one tag, and then include it in one or multiple heading two tags, and you can include variations of those. So that's legit everything you do. And let me just go back and say the heading one tag is it's usually the biggest text on a page. It's the text at the top of a blog post, for example, the title of a blog post. That's the heading one tag. Heading two tags are subheaders, right? So they support the main topic. And going back even further, the title tag is the blue text you see on Google when you make a search. I've actually started seeing some black text now on the site links underneath. I don't know if that's just a me thing or if that's a Canada thing or they're rolling out something new. But the blue text is the title tag. That's the title of the page. That's what the page is about. And the meta description is that the couple lines underneath that on the Google search.
Another question that I get all the time is Can I do SEO for 3 months and stop?
You can. You absolutely can. There's nobody, holding a gun to your head and saying keep doing SEO. But what we found is usually, you'll start to see results around 3 to 6 months, and it could be even longer if you're a newer site or if you're not doing that much of it. Um, but I don't know, like sometimes it tapers off, sometimes it like maintains for a while. It really depends on who your competitors are in the market. What do you think, Jake?
Yeah, I actually just did a video on this the other day. We've seen time and time again as an agency, we offer our services as a month to month service,
Yep.
which is a boon and a detriment because as a boon, we're not locking people into contracts. They don't stress about the bill. It gives them some freedom of mind as a business owner. But on the flip side, we probably have a higher turnover rate because we allow that exit opportunity. And so we get to see, and I'm sure you've had this, we get to see a lot of sites after they stop services with us because most
Yeah.
most business owners don't know how to remove our access.
Yeah. Oh my god.
And so we get to watch, and on numerous occasions I've watched accounts that we've done work for 3-4 months for really start to spike, start to jump up in those impressions, start to see those rankings go up, and they stop services and we watch it just plateau for 3 months and then start to fall back down.
Yeah.
And so it's one of those activities where you're going to get the value from your first 6 months forever if you keep going.
Yeah.
And that's, as an agency, I only want success for my clients,
Yeah.
but it is a sad reality that this is not a one-time service. This is something you have to keep doing, like hiring a bookkeeper.
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah, you're
it's part of the business model at this point.
absolutely. And I would say potentially, Jake, you're doing a disservice to your clients by not locking them into, a 3 or 6 month contract. Because like I used to do the same thing as you, month to month. And even on renewal, like if it was a 6 month contract, we were doing month to month. Now we're like 6 months in, you have to, at least give us 6 months to show you that we can do our job. Because we've had too many clients leaving after 1 or 2 or 3 months, just when they're on the precipice of getting more traffic. Is that the right word? Precipice? Is
Yeah,
that the
no,
right
that
word?
was perfect.
um so yeah, when they're just about to get more traffic, they cancel, and then a couple months later they're like, hey, can we hire you guys back? And I'm like, we don't have any room right now, or our rates are higher, or whatever it is. Not just like to slight them kind of thing, but we are legit just moving on. Like, you left, you moved on, we're going to move on as well. And then it's just like, and then some other clients are like, after a month or two, like, I would have rather them not spend any money on SEO at all rather than hire us for 2 months because they didn't see results. Now they're jaded, and those results will come eventually, but they're not going to attribute it to us. They're gonna be like, oh, I guess like something's working that I'm doing now.
Yeah, absolutely. I try to explain this often, and maybe I do a poor job of this, but SEO is not a revenue upfront investment.
Yeah,
It
it's
is
a long
a
strategy.
it is a long strategy, meaning that you are going to invest 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 months without the revenue coming from organic covering the bill of the SEO.
I would say that's all marketing except paid marketing, right? Paid marketing, you can see results pretty quickly, but even organic social, like you and I both know this, Jake. We posted how many videos for how many months, how many years without seeing results, and nobody in their right mind would pay somebody to make content for them or to help them with social media for a year if they're not seeing results, right? It's all like,
Absolutely.
and I keep telling my wife this, or I was telling my wife this, when I was just getting started with all the social media stuff. I'm like, this is the long con, not the long
Mhm.
strategy, the long con. I'm just, and not that I con anybody, but it's like, you just have to show up every single day and like put yourself into it, right? And it might work out, it might not. Same thing with SEO, same thing with paid ads, right? If you don't give your paid ads enough time to, to optimize and get those conversions, you're not going to see the results.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's It's part and parcel of the universe we live in. If you want to have that organic opportunity, it takes an investment.
Yeah.
It takes an investment. And it doesn't flourish for a while, but if you can invest in SEO, there will become a tipping point.
Yes.
And after that tipping point, your SEO costs are not really going up,
Yeah.
but you're breaking even, you're making money, you're making money, you're making more money, you're making more money. And now all of a sudden, you're crushing it.
Yeah.
And that bill has more than paid for itself, not only in the month, but in the backlog. I just look at one of my oldest clients. They were doing about 1.2 million. They brought
Hmm.
us in, and over the next 3.5 years, through organic strategy alone, we raised the company's top line revenue from 1.2 million to 8 million.
That is wild.
And our price never changed.
Well, that's like, I just want to rant about this for a second. There's a lot of agencies out there who charge, especially like media agencies, right? People who are doing your Facebook ads or Google ads, they will charge a percent of the ad spend that you're spending. So if you spend 5 grand, and they're charging 10%, you're making $500. And if you
Mhm.
spend 50 grand, they're making, $5,000 or whatever the percentage is. So what you're saying is SEO doesn't scale based on how much traffic you're getting or how much money you're making. It's the same price every single month and we just keep doing our jobs.
Exactly, exactly. Now we have played with a model like that. We have played with a revenue percentage based model.
Yeah.
But the reality is if you're an agency, most agencies are not doing a massive amount of revenue. We're just being honest about it.
Yep.
You have to be able to then accept the responsibility of weathering that cost
Yep.
for that client on their behalf while you scale up. And while that might be a great sales tactic, it is very, very tough for an agency to execute upon that.
Yeah. I got nothing else. You're right.
Yeah. Another myth question that I get, and I really want to ask you this because I know what your answer is, so I'm
Okay.
cheating a little bit. Backlinks are dead.
Myth or not
Yes.
myth?
The myth is that backlinks are dead. At least I'm calling it a myth. Maybe setting you up a little too easily.
No, backlinks are not dead at all. Look at any of the websites in the top, 3 results. Look at how many backlinks those websites have, right? I guarantee that those top 3 links have more backlinks than all of the other search results, not put together, but, just individually.
Could be
Um,
though.
yeah, and I will also say there are some keywords that you don't really need backlinks because there might be a couple sites, positions 2 and 3 that will have 50 backlinks to those pages, but the number one result could have zero backlinks. So they do matter, not necessarily to the page, but to the domain, I would say.
With backlinks, how important is it that my backlinks come from a topically adjacent place? Like can I just go get backlinks from a local pizza parlor for my agency?
Honestly, like I think it really depends on the business and like if you're local or national. Like, if CNN gives me a backlink, that is a great backlink, but they are not topical to me at all. So it might matter to an extent, but I don't think it's the end all be all. And especially if you're a local business, like I want the local charity down the street linking to me, right? I want Google to know that I'm, based local where I am, and show me higher in the local search results because that's a whole other thing, right? Forget competing nationally against all these huge brands. Compete locally. It's much smaller market and like it's
And
it's
I think
wild.
that's a good segue to the last piece of this question that I had, which is I'm a local business. Do I really need backlinks? Like, can I just win in SEO without the backlinks as a local business?
So let me just give you an example here. So my site, heytony.ca, um, I'm based in Hamilton, Ontario, and I'm like, cool. I want to rank for like website design. I want to rank for SEO. I want to rank for Facebook ads, all these kinds of things, so that the local businesses will hire me to do that. And I went and looked at all the other local agencies, and I was like, what kind of backlinks do they have? How many backlinks do they have? and some had like thousands of backlinks, and I'm like, this is wild. Like, I need to up my game in order to rank. And it wasn't until I hit a certain threshold and, got more traffic to the website and all this kind of stuff that we actually started ranking for those keywords. And like, we didn't optimize the pages anymore after that initial, optimization, like writing the content. It took about a year of like writing blog posts, building backlinks and all this stuff for us to outrank our competition without adjusting those specific pages. It's really wild. But I mean, most local businesses they're not an SEO agency or a digital marketer, so they don't know all of these tricks. They're not doing all of this stuff. You could very well get away without having backlinks, but they probably hired an SEO person at some point that got them some backlinks or even directory listings.
Absolutely. It's one of those things where if you're local, your competition is going to be lower. That's true across the board, right? Like not just in SEO, in general, your competition is going to be lower unless
Yep.
you're in certain fields. But in general. And so a little bit of backlink
Yep.
goes a lot further at the local level than say a nationally focused brand who's competing in a very aggressive space. I look at, I had a company that did dog food. Do you know how many billions of dollars are spent in marketing and advertising by Purina and Iams and all of these
Yeah.
major dog food brands? There is no functional way you can take them on nationally. Well, except social media, but uh,
Yeah. And like really like that's I know we're not talking about Facebook ads or even organic social, but I don't if you're a local business, like Facebook ads are the easiest thing in the world. Like, so just as an example, we have a client who they have a haunted house and they're open for like a month and a half out of the year. And they're like, cool, what kind of targeting should we do? And I'm like, open targeting, anybody from what's the minimum age, like 18 you can target on
mhm,
Facebook or
mhm,
19, anyone from 19 to 50, maybe they're bringing their kids at that point. Or they like haunted houses, for the, 5-10 grand or whatever you want to spend, do open targeting. You're hitting everybody in that area multiple times. They know about your attraction, they know about your thing. And like, yeah, that like 5-10 grand is a lot of money to spend. They're only open for a month and a half or whatever. But if you're a local business and you're spending like 1,000 or 2,000 bucks a month on Facebook, Instagram ads, like you will hit your entire market. People who will know who you are, they'll see your ads, and make sure you're doing retargeting. Like that's
yeah,
so cheap to do.
and then if you have an SEO strategy, they can find you much easier because a lot of ads don't convert on the click.
It could be awareness. Like that could be the play of the ad.
Exactly. And remember, people know people.
Yep.
Uh, if you blanket an area with an ad or social media, same process,
Yep.
you're going to hit a lot of people. And some of those people, they're not into your service or whatever it is you're offering, but they probably know someone who is.
Absolutely. There was a local realtor here a couple years ago, blanketed the city in billboards, like traditional billboard ads, bus ads, all that kind of stuff. And like I didn't notice, maybe they were doing this, maybe I wasn't in their targeting, but they could have targeted the entire city with social ads for like a fraction of the price. And I didn't see any social ads for this guy. So that could be, if somebody's doing something crazy like that, like they dominate in SEO or they're dominating in local billboards or whatever it is, like look at what they're not doing and go there
Hmm.
because they're missing an entire segment. And if they're doing everything, you're just going to have to, get on organic social and show people who you are. Right.
I just have a really silly idea to combine like social public awareness with SEO. What if I did a billboard that just said like a nonsense word like giggle truck?
Yeah.
No one ranks for giggle truck.
Yep.
I go do SEO. I go do SEO for that word, low to no competition. People see the billboard, they search it on Google, and they find me. Like that, just it's not one thing, guys. It's not one thing. It
Yeah.
is the culmination of experiences with your brand that drive the conversion.
Absolutely. Like Jake, for us, like somebody might come to our website, browse around. They're like, okay, well, I'm not ready. I'm going to get some quotes from some other people. Then when they leave the website, all of a sudden they start seeing ads. Who's this wizard marketing guy? I keep seeing him everywhere. And then, they engage with the ad maybe, and then they start seeing your organic social content. They watch you for a while, and then they come back to the website, fill out the form, and contact you. Obviously,
Yeah.
that's a very specific situation, but that happens.
Mm-hmm. And that's why SEO is important, regardless of hitting specific search keywords, because you need to be not only discoverable, but recoverable. So
Absolutely.
I do want to jump into our 7 minutes in heaven segment. If you've never been here
Let's do it.
before, we're going to bring up a website and we're going to spend 7 minutes just loading up the SEO and CRO advice, which you don't know what that is. CRO is conversion rate optimization. Basically, it's just a fancy way of saying we want to make your site so people want to click on it.
Yep.
So let me bring up my timer here.
It's funny that we're doing this because I have a series that I do on Instagram and TikTok called roasting the shit out of your websites. And like I'll do like one website in a video and people I'm like if you want your website roasted, like leave it in the comments, and the amount of people who are like murder my website is crazy. And I do.
Well, let's bring that energy here today. I have Experience Skye at experiencesky.com. Let's go. Above the fold, most important piece of the entire website. What
Yep.
are our thoughts?
I think I just need to read this for a sec. The app that brings Sky's story to life. First of all, what is Sky?
No
How are
idea.
people finding this? Buy access code to what? How it works? I would love to know how it works, but what is this? Why did I end up on this site?
Absolutely. There's no additional context unless I came
Oh,
here knowing what I was looking for.
audio guides, history, and stories app for Sky. So Sky must be a place,
Mm-hmm.
and that's I guess why people would be coming here. But like, why is that text? That was like the third thing that I saw, and
Mm-hmm.
maybe that's just me, but usually the smallest text on the page is the stuff you read the last, even if it's on top of the big text. um, I would maybe flip those audio guides, history,
Absolutely.
and story for Sky. Is it Sky Ireland? This looks like I don't know. Where is this?
I will have to find that out. But I also agree with the nav. Sometimes the nav can give you context.
Yeah.
And so reading across this nav, we have Experience Sky app. Okay, so there's some kind of app that I'm going to
Yes.
get. Then I get how it works, but I don't know why I want it.
Yeah.
So in the workflow across that nav bar, I need to bring up the fact that I don't know why I want this.
So I know this because I'm a marketer, and because people want to make more money. They are selling an app in the App Store. So the app is free in the App Store, but you have to buy an access code exterior, so outside of the App Store, which is what they're doing on this site. And then you have to take that code and put it into the app to bypass Apple's, 30% or Google's 30%, whatever they take. That's what they're doing here. So they're even adding more steps than you would be required to do. I mean, maybe they're making a little bit more money that way. But the more steps, the more loss in conversion.
Absolutely. Let's scroll down the page a bit and see what we got here. An immersive pocket guide to the Isle of Skye. It's an island.
Okay. It's still like if you were, I guess, if you're looking this up, Isle of Skye, whatever it is, and this came up, it would be obviously very relevant. But still, I don't know. Also, I've seen this theme before. I've seen those squiggles and everything.
Very true. I'm going to throw in some SEO advice here. The reason why I would want this app, and I'm making some assumptions here because I haven't consumed the site until right now, is that I want to know what do I do when I get to Skye. So the assumption is I've booked some kind of travel or I'm investigating some kind of travel to the Isle of Skye. There's no SEO on this page for what to do in Isle of Skye
Yeah.
because that's ultimately what the purpose of this app is. So
Oh, I
from
can't
just
wait to
a
see.
general SEO, that's
I
where I
can
would start.
I'm very curious to see if they have a blog on here and if it reveals some of the things to do there.
Oh, like kind of gives away some of the app for free?
Yeah, because they 100% should, and then say like, "Hey, get this on your travels, pocket guide, whatever. It's in your pocket."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Here's a couple of pieces of history that they, I guess, cover in the app.
Okay.
Um, some short guides to some locations or locales you might want to visit.
So
Again,
it almost looks like it's like an Instagram feed kind of thing from these pictures with audio. So it's like a guided audio tour.
of the Isle of Skye.
Yeah,
They do have some kind of chat support, which is good to know,
I
but
love
no
that. And
link to the chat support. I can see it down here in the left, but
mhm,
the
what
perfect
you'll
stay
find.
on Skye.
Yeah, so are they doing use our maps to effortlessly find and save must see spots? So when I'm thinking about, or when I'm reading the perfect stay on Sky, I'm like, oh, are they going to help me find a place to stay while I'm there? Is that part of this?
It doesn't really give that clarity. Okay, here we go. What you'll find: immersive audios and short self-guided tours, offline access to all of that, insight into the culture of Skye, the historical context, the folklore, and GPS mapping that helps you find those locations. So at least
Great.
now I know what the app is going to do for me.
Yeah, and
But
how far down on the page are we?
oh, I am at the bottom. Here's the footer.
Oh wow. So we still don't know where this place is.
No. I mean, we know it's called Isle of Skye, but I'm not a geo-guesser player, but I'd have to say it's somewhere near Ireland or something like that.
Yeah.
Or Nordic,
Um
it's Vikings, right? So it's like somewhere up in those Nordic countries.
yeah. Do you have the detailed SEO extension? Can we look at any of that stuff? Okay, so here we go. Um, where do I don't use this one. So title tag, it
Head
shows.
title: Experience Skye, downloadable Isle of Skye audio guides.
Okay, so I mean, I like the second half of that. Downloadable Isle of Skye audio guides.
Mhm.
That makes sense. Explore Isle of Skye activities with our audio guides app. Great. So it's Isle of Skye audio guides app. That makes sense. Assuming people are looking up, the app part of that. And then what about the heading tags? Can we see those in here?
Here we are.
So audio guides. Okay, so they are using the correct heading one tag that I would have suggested. So audio guides, history, and stories app for Skye.
But we have multiple H1s. Did you see
Oh
that?
shit. I see that now. Helping you navigate away from the crowd. So what do you think they're doing with the multiple heading one tags here, Jake?
I would assume it's just a mistake.
Yeah, like a styling, the person who made this was using it for styling and not actually what it's meant for.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Absolutely.
Interesting. Okay, we can browse away. So they are missing, like, again, I still have no idea where this is.
Sky Insights? Here we go. We found the blog.
Okay, so yeah, look, they are giving away a lot of this stuff, which is great. All 20 Isle of Skye restaurants you can easily book online. They're talking about these different places.
Scotland.
Scotland, I see. Yeah.
Closing
So,
thought on
oh, that's it.
that's
Um,
it. 7
click
minutes.
click on one of the blogs. Click on that one. Let's see here. If there's no pictures, oh no, why do they have ads? Oh, it's an ads for their own thing. That's fine. Okay, they have some pics. That's good. Um, yeah, honestly, like not the best site, but not the worst site I've ever seen. Do we do a rating? Do we have stars? Do we have thumbs up? Do we
You
have
can you can rate it however you want. You can rate it out of bananas or,
oh my god.
whatever it is.
I'm gonna do 1.5 AirPods.
1.5 AirPods. There you have it.
1.5 out of 2.
1.5 out of 2. Definitely good. Could be better, more successful. Definitely from an SEO perspective, and a little bit more clarity as to the use case and where the hell Isle of Skye even
Yeah.
is.
Just mention Scotland once, right? Or show, like, when you're going into Vegas, there's a Las Vegas sign, like have it say Scotland. You know what I mean? Like something
There,
like that.
there's no reason this app can't be a top ranking site
Yeah.
for the search Isle of Skye. There's no reason. And at that point, that's a much, much, much more powerful keyword to focus on just as a ranking. Oh, Matt's gonna actually search it real quick.
I am. What was their site?
Experiencesky.com with an extra E because they're from Europe.
Yeah, they're not on page 1 for that audio tour. Let's see. Okay, so I mean, it's probably because I've been to their website. They're coming up number 1 for Isle of Skye audio tour, which is great. I don't know how many people are looking that up, so it might not be the best. Let's just see the best keyword. Isle of Skye tour. Let's see. Yeah, they're not coming up there at all. So I do think, the good thing is like they are willing to share all of these things about the Isle of Skye that you can probably get in the audiobook, or the audio pocket guide, whatever you want to call it. But they're just a little bit more scattered throughout the blog, throughout the website. So it's going to be a little bit more difficult for you to find all that information, which is fine.
Absolutely, absolutely. I will give it 3 out of 5 fireballs because I'm a wizard.
Perfect. I was gonna say like Mario fireballs. I also, for those listening, I have this. I made this last night. It's
Oh my
the
goodness.
piranha plant out of Legos. How sick is that?
That's amazing. I'm excited to see that in your
Yeah,
Instagram story.
yeah.
Speaking of, Matt, where can I find you all across the internet?
Uh, if you look up "Hey Tony," you'll find me on most platforms, or Matt Diamante. I'm sure my name will be somewhere in the show notes or somewhere on this podcast. But on Instagram, it's heytony.agency. On TikTok, it's Hey Tony Agency without the dot. And watch out, there's a lot of people pretending to be me on TikTok right now, and it's an issue.
Absolutely. And I happen to know you also have an SEO course.
I do. I have two SEO courses. So one is called Understanding SEO. It's an absolutely free course. Um, I'm sure Jake will share the link to that, and it teaches you all the basics about SEO. So if anything we said in this podcast does not make sense to you in terms of SEO, you will learn exactly what that means in that free course. And then I also have another course as well called SEO Mastery, and it's literally my entire SEO process. So if you want to do SEO for yourself, you can do that, and it's way cheaper than most people sell it for. Sorry, Jake.
No worries, no worries. I'm glad you're here. Thanks so much for filling in for Mitch. And of course, I'm Jake the Wizard. You can find me everywhere at The Wizard Marketing. Please follow this podcast on your favorite platform, whether that's Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, or wherever else. We're on a ton of platforms. I don't even know the full list, to be honest.
Perfect. Great.
Perfect. All right. Well, thanks so much for tuning in to the Hold My Beer Marketing Podcast. We're here every week. Please tune in next week. And thanks again, Matt.
Thank you.